Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very new special episode here in Season 2 of the Hofstra Esports Draft League. That's right, the regular season is done. So here we are, previewing our playoffs. This is Cygnus, joined, as always, by...
Daniel 1018. Woo!
And Scrumptious, aka Armando, yeah.
Woo!
Let's go. So yeah, it was a very exciting season here at Hofstra Esports Draft League. Again, in case you haven't seen, unlike Season 1, this was a singles draft season, so it was very different. We had old veterans returning, new people coming in. It was a great season. But before we get into previewing our playoffs, I'd like to have a quick mention and kind of a send off to those of us who were not as good at video games to make the playoffs. So yes,
Yeah.
give it you're all for Skeletino's Skeledurge Superstars, Taboo's Agents of Shieldon, My Very Own Magikarp Mayhem, Lang's Ludicrous Lugias, Swamp Boss's Persona Furret, and Mike Jewell and later Ethan's Long Island Gastrodon.
Denny, I think you made a mistake. I think you meant to say Ludicrous Lugayas. Anyways.
Oh,
True.
Hey, I had the best winning streak at the end of all the non-playoff teams.
Very true. You're making a comeback. But yeah, even though they didn't get to make it this season, they definitely they all won at least one game. They had a good showing in each game. They put some really good effort, some really good unique ideas and teams, and it didn't work out this season. But next season, if they decide to come back, they can come back twice as strong.
Yeah, so it was very fun to fight most of these players in the draft league. Keyword is
Cough.
most. Cough.
Espathra.
you forget about my match with Skeletino, Denny. You forget.
Oh, true, true.
You forget,
Yeah.
Denny.
My match with him, even though I lost, that was a fun one that I had.
My match was not fun.
But yeah, props to Skeletito's Dragapult managing to finish 15th in the MVP race. My own Darkrai finishing up at 12th, and unfortunately, Taboo's Espathra finishing 5th.
Burn.
Hey,
Just
Spather's very easy to pilot.
Yeah, and those were joined by Skeletino's Titan as being the 4 Pokemon from non-playoff teams that made the top 20.
Yeah, that's still a pretty good achievement, you know.
We got a good mix of Pokemon here. Some interesting ones. Vivian. Yeah, a lot of Pokemon. Very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting into the teams that are advancing and will be playing in our playoffs this season, we are starting off with the very own Indiana Infernapes, coached by the one and only Koro Sensei.
Our own resident
Indiana-
rain team.
Yes.
Yeah, they definitely start off very solidly, winning their first 2 in a row and 3 of their first 5. But those 3 wins are all they came away with, as they finished with a 3-5 record and a -6 differential, losing their last 3 in a row, managing to barely squeak into the playoffs after winning our special play-in tiebreaker against Skeletino, which was a best-of-3 random battle.
Yeah. We had to very much so scramble to try to figure out how we'd be able to manage this exact tie, by the way. And it had to be for 8th place, not any position higher or lower. It had to be for the couple position.
It gives us a play, and it adds to the excitement and tension of the playoffs.
True. We got more content out of this. True.
I see it as a good thing.
Only here will you'll see ties this close.
I also do find it interesting how Koro Sensei's win in week 1 was against the Skeledurge Superstars. In fact, the team that the tie was with, that was a 6-4 win, with Arcaladon and Barrascuda being the 2 coming out on top in that match.
Yeah, Koro Sensei just had a cemented there once again in the run back. Granted, it wasn't with the same Pokemon, but yeah. Same skill set.
Yeah, Sensei's other wins came in week 2 against with a 6-1 win over the Ludicrous Lugias, and then in week 5 taking a nail-biter 6-5 victory over the Drunken Dracovish, one of the powerhouse teams.
Yeah, it was definitely an impressive win that Coral got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, definitely, regardless of a 3-5 record, this team was very much competitive in every match it was in.
Hmm.
The Rain team was definitely impressive.
Yeah, there were certain Pokemon that put up a really good fight against a ton of the players here.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, looking through the schedule, look at the losses. Of course, they had a tough schedule to deal with. I mean, I'm seeing the losses. I'm seeing a 6-2 loss against M. I'm seeing a 6-3 loss against Daniel. We have another 6-4 loss against you, Armando. We have a 6-5 nail-biter loss against Marcus's setup sweeper team, which is terrifying. And then week 8, Jamaz.
Damn, that is actually really
I mean, that is
bad.
a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
the
getting
fact
it,
that-
getting into playoffs with that tough of a schedule is definitely nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and also through all this, only 2 of the wins are against non-playoff teams, and one of them is the team he was tied with the other one being against Levin. And then the last win being against Joe is a really massive win.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of the MVP race, let's look at how some of the Pokemon on this team had performed this season. Over. Yeah, I'm seeing.
I guess here.
Well, I'm definitely interested. Let's see. How did the first round pick do? How did Infernape do? I don't remember seeing it showing up that much, really.
I don't-
Infernape. Let me see.
Data at the side, all the way to the right.
Infernape. Let's see.
I
Here
mean,
we go.
I mean,
Games
you
played
probably
2.
you probably just go over to like MVP race and then
Yeah,
like
probably that'd be better.
Control F it,
Yeah.
and then like use the find feature like Control F.
Yeah, it was brought to 2 games. Got 1 kill, 1 death. Overall 0 differential.
One of a few mons with an even rating, ending up ahead at 92nd, probably below where you want a first round pick to be. But then again, in this draft, there were a lot of very off the radar picks in the first round. This was far from the only one, and Infernape isn't exactly synergistic with the rest of the team. It's the mascot pick.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, it's not it.
But I feel
So
two of the
second
real
round.
heroes of the team were probably our Caledon and Clodsire, the round 2 and 3 picks, right?
Don't forget about Barraskewda. Barraskewda put up a really good
definitely.
fight.
Yeah, that was Barraskewda was definitely a late round gem. Coming in round
Archelodon went
round
to
8.
876.
no, coming in
does-
round 9.
That does make sense though. Barraskewda doesn't really fit in any teams besides rain teams.
Yeah,
And at that
makes
point,
sense it doesn't fall that late.
people had already decided like what archetypes or what kinds of teams that they wanted. So it would make sense
But yeah.
for that one to slip on by.
Barraskewda, the 8th pick was actually the leading, was actually arguably the MVP of course since his team with that 9 kills, 3 deaths, being brought to 7 of the 8 matchups. It performed very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, this team just wouldn't be possible without the Mon pick 2 rounds before with Pelipper.
Oh yeah, this team does not
Well,
function without Pelipper.
Its impact may not show on the MVP due to lack of direct kills, but it is such an important piece and a major reason why this team is in the playoffs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any mons you'd like to highlight, Daniel?
I'd like to give a special shout out to a few Pokemon that I wouldn't say have gotten the respect that they should be warranted towards. Probably Donphan and Galvantula. Those guys are very important in terms of hazards, with Galvantula setting up a very important hazard being Sticky Web, and Donphan being basically the only form of hazard removal that Koro had. Apart from maybe Pelipper with the Defog? I don't remember if it gets that or not.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and let's see.
I don't think it
Donphan.
does.
Donphan definitely provided hazard removal, but in terms
Nope.
of
Pelipper does not get
actual-
defog in this game.
yeah, there are a lot of things that had it removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing it looks like Donphan was brought into to 5 games with 1 kill and 4 deaths for a -3, but that also is not factoring in the hazard removal effect it has,
Mm-hmm.
and just being a tanky ground type.
Yeah.
And also hazard setting as well, so not just removing.
Yeah, Galvantula on the other hand was only brought into 2 games with 0 kills and 2 deaths, coming in at 147.
Also, Donphan, my goat for almost getting a couple kills with sturdy Custap Berry Endeavor. It was gonna be
True,
raw.
yeah, that was fun to see. Yeah, how about you, Armando? Any other ones you want to highlight that haven't been talked about yet?
I want to highlight Scizor because I feel like there was definitely a couple games where either Scizor brought it back or was close to bringing it back because it's such a good revenge killer with
Yeah.
Swords Dance and priority moves, and then
Yeah,
also
definitely, I
gets
mean-
remove weakness because of Pelipper.
That game against the rose tinted lenses definitely sticks out to me. Where
Mhm.
it was in the late game. It was in the late game, and of course, only lost because Scizor wasn't quite equipped to deal with that Steel Terra Whimsicott.
Mm-hmm. Bless you. I think.
That was a cough, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Also, there are 2 mods on this team that were not brought to any games. Those are Skuntank and Hisui and Sliggoo.
Trust. Kung Tank could have cooked. Trust me. It could have been great, but
yeah,
it didn't get the chance.
That is 2 of the Terra captains on this team that did not make an appearance, leading only Bellybolt as the only Terra captain. But Bellybolt was also another standout to me. I felt his tankiness gave Corsente a lot of value in these matches.
Yeah, between Bellybow and Cloudsire, very good defensive backbone on this team that helped keep it alive in sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a very interesting team, but being the 8 seed, this is going to be quite the challenging round 1, as Corsensei is going to be having a rematch of the Week 8 matchup, going up against J-Maz in the New York Glimmets, in what should be an extremely tough matchup there.
Yeah, hopefully Koro learns from his mistakes from week 8 and maybe changes his team to fit with that.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
think
Yeah, because it's not been that long since week 8, but there's definitely been enough time for people to get maybe a little rusty on their teams. So this first round will definitely be a rude awakening to people who didn't practice enough or learn from their mistakes.
And in that Week 8 matchup, possibly the biggest factor in J-Mez's 6-4 win was that Excalibur picking up 3 kills. So it'll be very interesting to see how Corsensei is able to adjust. Do we see Infernape maybe brought in to try to combat it?
I feel
Well,
like Scizor kind of does numbers here. Like Infernape could do good, but I feel like Scizor, it can beat Iron Valiant. Definitely can beat Baxcalibur.
Yeah, Scizor's definitely gonna have to be aware of
Infernape-
that Chiyu though.
Oof.
Yeah, Infernate might not be great for Excalibur in case he uses a fire move and Excalibur switches in on that, because that deals neutral damage and then
True,
will
yeah.
be boosted by thermal exchange, which will be really bad for Koro.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, it didn't necessarily in week 8, but I think Zapdos could be some trouble for this team as well.
Yeah, having
Dealing
that
well against
rain
like Pelipper
boosted,
and Barraskewda.
having that rain boosted Thunder while also being very bulky could definitely prove an issue.
Yeah, and it just hits two of the most key players on this team really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think Koro has the tools and the know-how to win this run back. But we gotta see if he can put it together.
Yeah, because also an advantage that Coruscant definitely has in this matchup is that he gets to adjust Mons in and out of this team. But the way the New York Glimmets are built, English doesn't really have that luxury here.
That is true.
Here, meaning
Yeah.
if he's against players who he's played against before, they know why they lost in the previous game, and they can try to adjust to that.
I'm pretty sure Tom has played against everybody in playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Not me.
Yeah,
No, I thought
think
you did play against Tom. Did you not? Oh no, you didn't. Right, your loss was against Levin.
Yeah, that was a bit of the funny. I haven't played.
Yeah.
Tom.
So
Yeah.
it would. Yeah, I guess it would really just be you,
Hmm.
who he hasn't gone up against before. But then again, Tom would have to make it all the way to Grands
Mhm.
for that to happen, because he would have to get through Koro and then either me or
Well,
Mark.
wait. Are we gonna be reseeding in between rounds or
No,
not?
No.
Because I can like okay.
it's
Yeah.
a bracket. We already made the bracket. We can put up the
Right.
bracket in a fancy
Yeah.
transition title card here,
Okay,
or
yeah,
make
I
it
was just
thumbnail
wondering
or something. I don't know.
if we're reseeding, so it's still top versus lowest no matter what and stuff like that.
No, it's a bracket
Totally
at this
see
point.
that. Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the Indian Infernapes are looking out. Moving on, we have our next team, the Baneful Banettes, coached by M, who had a 500 record at 4-4 with a -1 differential. Oh, with what was a very up and down roller coaster season for this team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, quite literally the most even record of going up and down here. 4-4.
Yeah, it's not just even record, but also just like a loss, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, a loss, like
Mhm.
very up and down, very swingy.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting. Yeah, looking through at the schedule, I'm seeing the week 1 loss was a narrow 6-5 loss. Narrow 6-5 loss up against Hunter, another very strong team.
Yeah.
Followed by convincing wins against Taboo and Koro Sensei. Then there's a loss to Daniel as well, and then
I didn't beat him.
oh wait, no, never mind. Oh, I was looking at Koro Sensei again. Yeah, followed by another really narrow loss against Armando. Oh, and then getting smoked by the power of J-Maz before bouncing back strong with powerful wins against me and Daniel before facing the wrath of Vivian in our final week.
Yeah.
So yeah, notably though, with the exception of the last week, almost all the games were really close with this team as well. Like within 1 or 2 months for the most part.
Yeah, I remember my game against them. It was scary the whole way through. I got blindsided by a couple things. Emma's already a good player, and then the team that she has just oof.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
Got it.
anyway, M did have one mon in the top 10. That was her first round pick. It is Gliscor.
Yeah, Gliscor kind of went crazy this season. I don't know.
Her to all 8 games went with 10 kills and 6 deaths for a +4 differential. It was, in fact, 9th place and was one of 9 months to have at least 10 kills this season as well.
Yeah.
But also, like, mainly known as a Solomon, it brought the power here.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure it had a sweep in one of the games too, right?
Yeah, she had like SD Gliscor in a good chunk of the games. She brought it to.
Yeah, hang on. I'm looking through right now. I'm looking through the stats. Oh yeah, in week 3 against Koro Sensei, it went 4-0.
Oh wow.
for that one. Yeah. So, and hey, 7 seed beating the ultimate 8 seed. I mean, that's a big victory that Glasgow
Yeah.
and delivered. And Glasgow did really well against me. It was really well conserved for the late game when my main threats to it were eliminated. I remember looking here. Yeah, it went 3-0 against me
Mm-hmm.
too. So yeah, Glasgow definitely did really well. Also, Latios, while only brought to 6 games, still went 7-3, even while sitting in
Damn.
2 of the games.
Yeah.
Wow.
That do be the Latios difference.
Yeah. Daniel, what other ones do you want to highlight from this team?
Terrakion kind of messed me up, man. Terrakion kind of messed me up.
a very strong round 4 pick, 14 points.
Yeah, it wasn't brought to a lot of games, but the games that it was brought to, it did very well.
Terrakion, let me see.
Latios did pretty well as well. I mean, I would say
Yeah,
a lot of M's picks were very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Pikachu, the 1 point Mon, like
Pikachu
still
went
did
0-3. Brought to 3
Yeah.
games, went 0-3.
I
But
guess
it had potential
It's-
to be terrifying.
it still
It
did
definitely had potential, yeah.
it still did things.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Terrakion was only brought to 2 games and went 2-1.
Oh wow.
67th. Yeah, it's tied. It's tied exactly with Levin's Piplup.
They are equal in power.
Terrakion versus Piplup, Battle of the Ages.
But yeah,
And
for-
then you just show it. You just show an image of like a background of flames and Terrakion and Piplup like facing each other with like a fighting game style like versus screen.
Yeah.
I'll write that one down.
Yeah. Armando, who do you want to highlight from the Baneful Banettes?
Definitely Iron Bundle and Toxapex. I remember team prepping for those two, and those two were the main issue. Toxapex walled like half my team, and Iron Bundle's just speed tier made everything so much harder to prep around, and like who I needed to go
Yeah, I'm
first
seeing-
and who I needed to swap around.
Bundle finished in place 31, brought to all 8 games, went 6-7, so was a -1. But yeah, to Toxapex, it's not necessarily showing up on the MVP race because it's not. Well, 44, went 4-3, was positive, brought to 6 games. Yeah, it was also one of the major reasons why I lost as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interestingly though, the second round pick of Iron Treads only went 3-7, brought to all 8 games.
I mean, Iron Treads wasn't exactly there to get just kills.
True, yeah.
Like it was
But it
there for
definitely
like
has the ability.
hazards. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, something that wasn't really brought as much, but I know definitely gave me a big fit that I'd like to highlight is Salazzle.
Ooh.
Corrosion.
Yeah.
Corrosion worked wonders against me for
Yeah, so Lazo in the right matchup can definitely mess you up.
yeah, it supports Salazzle with like Corrosion, Toxic, and Substitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really tough to deal with, I remember. Yeah, went 3-3 ultimately.
Mm.
Yeah, just all around. I feel on paper this is one of the teams I was most terrified to go against.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
that-
Scovillain. I like Jalapeno. I
yeah.
did
Hey,
alright. I
I'm a
don't
big
remember
Scovillain
how
enjoyer
did
too.
How did
Brought
Scovillain
to
do?
2 games, went 1-2.
1 and 2. It did its best.
Yeah, it tied with Marcus's Whimsicott and Hunter's Ogrepon Teal Mask.
Hmm.
Tying with
In the
Nograpon?
mid-90s.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, Hunter didn't really use his Ogrepon
Yeah.
that much.
Shush. I'm trying to prop up Scovillain. Shush.
Also, props to me for having the best performing Ogrepon in the draft.
That's because you picked the best one. No, I'm just kidding. I may be biased because I picked
I mean,
it last season.
I mean, arguably I did.
Shh, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. You had the hardest time
Even it.
because you had the worst ogre pawn. You still made it succeed. Good job, Daniel.
Oh,
Good
true,
job.
true. Yeah, true, yeah.
Water type, so many weaknesses, right? But yeah, a very solid all-around team.
Yeah. Also,
For
why was Wellspring 2 whole points below Hearthflame?
because Hearthflame is a monster in sync.
Yeah, Hearthflame is a monster, but
I
Wellspring
think
is also kind of a
I think
monster
Yeah.
too.
Wellspring honestly should have been 16. I think.
Maybe a 15. Maybe a
Mhm.
15. Because it's not ban worthy like
Yeah,
Hearthflame is.
Mhm.
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely consider moving it up a point.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah. Anyway, so Daniel, do you want to lead us into to M's round 1 matchup?
Yes, gladly. M's fighting Armando.
Hello.
So
Ooh.
yeah, I guess. Should we start with you, Armando, or should we start with someone who isn't involved in the battle?
I mean, if you want to
Yeah,
start
I
with
think I'd like to
me,
hear.
I'm
I
kind
think
of
I'd like to hear
terrified.
some of Armando's. I want to hear some of Armando's thoughts before we go into analysis.
Fair, that's fair.
I really had to go against one of my closest matchups, huh? Barely winning by one Pokemon, even though Volbeat was the GOAT. I don't know if Volbeat can be the GOAT twice. He might go 1-1, but I believe Volbeat can make the comeback again.
Yeah.
M's team is just terrifying. Like, I still had to prep so much Pokemon in such a specific way, and if I let Pokemon die way too early, the match was just lost. And there were certain Pokemon where I feel like if they were changed differently, they kind of just ran over my team. But I don't know. I think with prep, I could still make it, but M's not gonna make it easy at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, quite literally, I'd prefer almost any other person in this bracket than M, if I'm being
Wow.
completely honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at this, I mean, week 4 was a very exciting preview coming down to the wire, as you were talking about. And I'm seeing, I mean, the only mon left standing on both sides of the battlefield afterwards was your Greninja, who also had 2 kills, Armando.
Mhm.
But M also had a really good performance from Iron Bundle, going 3-1. I'm seeing Scoville doesn't really seem like it did that much. Wouldn't surprise me to see that being swapped out here.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. I mean, maybe we could see like a Poltegeist attempt.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying. But I don't
Yeah.
know, because I feel like some of my Pokemon kind of just crap on Poltegeist.
Yeah, when I was against M, I got really lucky with Poltegeist, where it ended up switching into a Darkrai Dark Pulse.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, even just like Gliscor, Iron Treads, and Toxapex is just a nightmare to be against. Not to mention the firepower of like Terrakion, Iron Bundle, and Latios.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
terrifying team.
I mean, this team is just so scary. I mean, I'm looking at this draft, and everything is in double digits point-wise up until the last 3 picks.
Yeah. M definitely had a very aggressive drafting style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the end, I'd say my final analysis of this match here is very much like the season. It could go either way.
It truly can.
Yeah.
Any thoughts you want to add in, Daniel?
I definitely think that M vs Armando will be a very tense and close match. I would not be surprised if either person won and continued into the semifinals of the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, M is one of the most dangerous 7 seeds there could be.
Yeah, definitely.
Woof. Anyway, with that said, moving on now, up to number 6 seed, getting to our first winning record of the bunch, we have the Wayward Weaviles led by Hunter, the team that had the first overall pick of the season with Great Tusk. the Wayward Weaviles went 5-3 with a +3 differential. Oh, winning 4 of their first 5 matches is as well, might I add.
Yeah, very
Another
impressive
very
there.
strong, very dangerous team.
Yeah.
I mean, who's
Yeah,
that lost
Hunter
to, of
was
course?
definitely a very big threat.
Yeah, I'm lucky I didn't have to go against him. Otherwise, I'd be 1-7. But yeah, I mean, looking at the schedule, Hunter won for the first 5, and looking at who they're against, he beat M. He beat Marcus, another very scary playoff team there. Did lose to Daniel, but then bounced back with wins over
One thing I will say,
Skeletino and Levin, who admittedly are non-playoff opponents there.
yeah, there were two factors that could have very easily caused me to lose my game with Hunter. There was one very important miss, and then there was one very important misplay from Hunter, which if he got the two of those, then that could have very easily swung the other way in Hunter's favor as opposed to mine.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And Hunter's losses, other than you, were against Joe and Swamp Boss. So with that week eight, 6-2, with that week 8 6-2 loss against Swamp Boss, Hunter's definitely looking to bounce back in a big way as we head into the playoff stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Unfortunate circumstance, but this is definitely always a fun team to watch. Definitely, it may have had the #1 overall pick, but there are a lot of unorthodox mons on this team, which makes it a lot of fun. I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, look, right up top we have the team's mascot and second round pick Weavile coming in at number 600 MVP race. Brought to all 8 games and went 12-8.
Yeah, very impressive, but not to be surprised, especially with Hunter playing and then also being Weavile as well.
Yeah, Weavile getting both triple axle and a knockoff back throughout the course
Yeah,
of the
that
DLC
those were massive
really,
buffs.
yeah, really helped it a lot. It basically became Qian Pao 2, when, Qian Pao is basically Weavile 2.
It took its title
Yeah,
back.
I mean, I'm looking through stats right now. I'm seeing so many matchups where it got 2 kills in like almost every week. It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm seeing. Yeah, even it got 3 against Levin as well. I'm seeing. It did go 0-1 against Joe though, notably.
Mm.
So Joe was able to contain it in the regular season.
Yeah, Joe is a very skilled player in his own right, which we'll get to when we get to him in the order.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Weavile definitely a mighty threat. Also, Hunter also has another entrant in the top 20 with the first overall pick, Great Tusk, who went 7-4, brought to 7 of the 8 matches. And Great Tusk, very deservedly so, the first overall pick in this draft league, might I add.
Yep.
I mean, that thing is just an absolute beast. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm seeing 2 kills in week 1, 2-0 in week 2. Didn't do that much in your matchup, Daniel, but it got another kill week 4. I mean, this thing was contributing all across the board pretty much.
Yeah.
It also was one of the 2 months that got a KO onto Joe's team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very strong, very
unsurprisingly,
furious.
it did very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would you like to highlight here, Daniel?
Pretty sure we went over Raging Bolt already.
No, we did not actually.
Oh, we did not.
It's a very good. That's a very good choice, though.
Yeah. Raging Bolt, very powerful special attacker, especially with Protosynthesis, which complemented well with Great Tusk when little Strudel over there was able to get off like a prankster sunny day.
Yeah, a very
Protosynthesis.
interesting sunsetter. I respect it for the low cost sunsetter.
Yeah. Yeah, those two Sun Paradox Mons really were able to benefit from that Strudel pick a lot, just due to
Yeah,
having access to Proto as well as a held item. But
yeah, definitely.
definitely,
Having double photosynthesis is terrifying.
yeah, I've definitely seen Hunter run like booster energy Raging Bolt on a non-Sun team though, which is still very dangerous in its own right. Those thunderclaps can do a lot of damage.
Ooh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thunderclaps, Dracos, just a ton.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, yeah, Raging Bolt came in 28th on the MVP list, went 6-3, brought to 6 games,
yeah.
and it was just always a presence. I mean, just so much pivoting power too.
In terms of Terra captains, I'd also like to highlight Lycanroc. Lycanroc is also very good with pretty good Terra types, as we can see there with Rock Fighting and Ghost, with fast like Choice Band, Excel Rocks, or a fast close combat, or just very powerful options that Lycanroc can click.
Definitely, absolutely. And speaking of Terra captains, I love the Gligar pick. Like, Gliscor went round 1. Well, in the second last round, I'll get Gliscor at home, except this one can Terra.
Yeah, I won't lie. I was an avid Gligar down player. I did not believe it could do what it did. Because I'm like, oh, Gligar with Eevee. Like, yeah, it's like budget Gliscor. And then I saw it in the matches. I'm like, oh, this thing with Water Terra? How do you remove this thing? It just stays there and laughs in your face and then switches out to something else. And then you're like, what do you
Yeah.
do? Goodbye. He'll be back later, probably.
Yeah, it did ultimately only go 1-3, but again, kills are not the goal for this thing.
Yeah.
It's a support mon.
He got good hazards off. I think it poisoned a couple Pokemon a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It definitely did his chip and
And
defense.
unlike Gliscor, it is Terra eligible in this league as well.
Yeah.
Which, getting access to like that Water Terra, for example, is so big.
Yeah. Nullifying that quad weakness to ice. Very important.
Yeah, and unless they're using Freeze Dry, turning it into a resistance, in fact.
Hmm.
Who, anyone else you wanted to highlight, Armando?
Speaking of defensive Pokemon, Tentacruel, another thing that poisoned things, got rid of poison because toxic spikes no more in front of Tentacruel.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ground Poison.
I feel like it did very well for like keeping this team alive. Very good defensive switch in. Sometimes uses a sack to get rid of, to get in Weavile or Raging Bolt, whatever needed to come in. It did its job. It may not have gotten a bunch of kills, but it kept people
Yeah, it
alive.
got
It
2
kept
of
the
them,
presidents
but it
alive.
did its job. It only went down 3 times in 5 games, notably, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and its presence just kept certain things off the field, was able to keep certain things off the field for so long, I remember.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it did notably better than Toadscruel, who was not brought to any games.
Poor Toadscruel. You get him next season.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Hunter did bring every single mana at least one time as well. With the one we saw the least, it looks like was
Farigiraf,
Only
yeah.
only appearing once, no kills, no deaths. I don't think it was really sent out.
Yeah, Farigiraf didn't do so hot.
Yeah, again, just totally highlighting the totally different worlds of singles and doubles.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is again another terrifying team being only 6th seed, and the opponent for playoffs does not bode well, especially considering Weavile. It was the only person that could shut down Weavile effectively, which was Joe.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. This was the also probably the roughest match Hunter had in the regular season, losing 6-2.
Hmm.
Too as well. This is why I wasn't going into as much detail about that one, because this is a rematch of that. Is our round 1 matchup, which definitely a tough one for Hunter. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it here.
Yeah.
And if any team, if any team can make you pay for running Sun Photosynthesis, it's another team that wants to run that with Gouging
Absolutely.
Fire on the other side.
Oof, yeah, Gouging Fire just makes a lot of these Pokemon's life so miserable. And even like maybe like Tentacruel or like Great Tusk who like could stop it, just get annihilated by some of the other things on Joe's team. I don't know. I think it's definitely a difficult climb, but if anyone can do it, it can be Hunter can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at how the matchup came out, yeah, Gouging Fire got 3 of Joe's kills and did not go down. Corviknight was 1-0. Shaman Land was 2-1.
Mhm.
Yeah, Shaman and Primarina were the only ones to have gone down, with Great Tusk and Raging Bolt getting the kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, could we see maybe a Quark Driver's photosynthesis approach coming with like maybe trying to getting some more use out of Iron Crown from Hunter?
Maybe it's possible.
That maybe be more of an adjustment.
Yeah, maybe set up some electric terrain. Raging Bolt gets set up in the electric. Iron Crown definitely does. Is there any
Yeah,
Pokemon
and
that can put him to sleep? that can be put to sleep. I mean, Shaman didn't run anything that. Does it get sleep powder? I don't think it does.
I don't know actually. Does the Axis get like hypnosis?
Let me double check. Shaman does not get sleep powder. Does the Deoxys get hypnosis? No. Either way, it's still good to have.
Yeah.
Not
Also,
think
honestly, if you could stay away from like Jolteon, Shaman, and Alolan Golem, I think Water Terra Gligar could do really well here.
about.
I think that's an adjustment we could definitely see coming from Hunter.
Yeah, Gligar could definitely do pretty good there. I don't know, I feel like without Terra, Gligar does pretty good here. Because it kind of likes having both ground and flying. Other than, I guess, like Frostlass and Primarina to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could just help slow down just the onslaught that Joe could put on. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to play slow paced, you also got to be careful about dealing with like Corviknight and Deoxys.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what's so threatening about Joe's team, is that whether you want to play slow or fast, Joe could do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, a consistently strong season coming from Hunter this year, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely plenty to be proud of.
Now here we go. Looking at our next matchup, we have our late bloomers rise from the ashes success story of the season. The rose-tinted lenses, coached by Marcus. After winning only one of their first 4 matchups, the rose-tinted lenses came roaring out the back half of the season with a 4-game winning streak to end the year, to finish with a 5-3 record.
If you want a comeback story, Marcus delivers. Especially with his dancing setup Pokemon. Ooh. Put on a clinic, multiple matches.
We were talking about Hunter and them being very scary 6 and 7 seeds, but I think Marcus is the dark horse here.
Oh. Marcus low-key terrifying to fight in playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a powerful setup team.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame for whoever has to go round 1 against Marcus, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
Looking early on, Marcus's early losses came against some of our powerhouses, losing to Joe, Hunter, James, and losing to those 3 in the first 4 weeks.
Oh yeah, damn! Only losing to those 3. That's still... It's pretty good.
Yeah, with a week 3 win against Taboo sprinkled in between there, which is where we first witnessed the power that is Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after week 4 happened, it's like a flip switch with this team, and no one could just stop it when it got rolling. Very much like the setup style Marcus employs, with powerful sweeping wins coming over Ethan, Swamp Boss, Kora Sensei, and M.
Yeah, Marcus set up Quiver Dance IRL and just started winning.
Say really, once the brutal first half of the schedule subsided, it's just like the brakes came off the team. And going over to the actual team itself, I mean, we can't really talk about this team without talking about the second place in the entire MVP race, brought to 6 of the 8 matches, but getting 15 kills to 4 deaths. It's Vivian.
That differential.
Vivian
from James 6.
Vivian is a fucking menace. A literal menace.
Ghost Terra
Yeah,
Vivian?
it's safe to say that we will be Terra banning Vivian the next time we run singles. We will be Terra banning that Vivian. That is just
Marcus
it's
single-handedly
too much.
getting this Pokemon Terra banned.
that Terra ghost. Oh boy.
Yeah.
And blocking Rapid Spin. Oh.
Yeah, it was considered a bit of an eyebrow raiser being the second round pick, but it more than made up for that.
Yeah,
For 8
without a
points in the
doubt.
second round.
Everybody was a
It was
bit
off,
beyond
it was off the
doubters.
board, but a very, very good pick. And then also in the top 20, coming in at 16th on our list, was the first round pick, Quavel, who brought to every game, went 8-6.
Yeah, definitely a good differential for
Yeah.
what it was.
Yep. Yeah. Also, Marcus did have something that was not brought. Have a couple things that were not brought to any games. Houndoom did not make any appearances at all so far this season,
Sad.
and neither did Amoonguss.
Amoonguss is interesting because I feel like it definitely
Yeah.
could have done some stuff, but I don't know.
I can see that maybe coming out in playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the one I could see.
Yeah. Sus.
Yeah. So Daniel, other than what we discussed, what other mons do you think are important to look at with this team?
Hmm. If you wanted a speed gap, talk about fucking Rabombi.
Yeah.
with sticky web and another like pretty powerful bug type with a stab U-turn to be able to rotate out into, something like a Vivian, a Quaquavola, Volcarona. It's very powerful. It's very like powerful to set up those hazards and then be able to with a very good speed stat, mind you, rotate out with a stab U-turn into something that benefits from sticky web heavily. It's just a very good combination for Marcus to have. Oh, and let's also not forget about Landorus Incarnate. Yeah, Lando exists. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I'm looking here. Interestingly, Landorus Incarnate was one of the ones Marcus brought to all 8 games, but it did only get 2 kills and 5 deaths for a -3 rating, actually, coming in at 85th. And
Kind of hard to perform when you have Quaquaval, Vivian, Volcarona, King Gambit all on the same team.
Yeah.
Overshadowed by Awesome.
Did we mention King Gambit? Did we talk about that guy yet?
Yeah,
Hey,
he's
at
there.
least get Terra here.
Yeah, at least. Supreme Overlord, stab,
That's why it
sucker
wasn't
punch,
20.
5 dead.
That's why it wasn't Terra bitch. I mean, no, it was Terra bitch. That's why it wasn't 19 points.
Yeah. Yeah,
also did very well, falling just outside the top 20, going 7-4 as well.
yeah, 7 kills King Gambit is. 7 kills.
King Gambit no longer has the shackles. Before, you couldn't let it be at full power because your differential would go down the drain. In playoffs, it's survival. No more differential. King Gambit is coming out. And is murdering your entire team.
Yeah. King Gambit Sucker Punch Mind Games with 5 dead mons can do some numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, safe to say, Marcus is a threat. a big threat. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We didn't even really talk about Volcarona much.
Yeah. How many hydrogen bombs does Marcus have on his team? Like 6 of them.
Yeah, this is very much a team that was built with a specific plan in mind, and it definitely paid off in that second half of the season.
Yeah.
And this team is prep or die. If you do not prep, you will
Yeah.
die.
And Daniel, I do not believe that your matchup against Marcus coming up is a rematch, is it not?
Nope, never fought him before.
Yeah, so we don't have any past matches to look back on when previewing this round 1 matchup, our 4 vs 5 seed.
Yeah, I think it'll be a toughie for me to get past this.
Yeah, I think really the best thing Marcus could do is just stick to what's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of which, let's move on now to our number 4 seed. You, Daniel, and your very own The Judgment Day. You had a very successful season overall, going 6-2 with a plus 17 records, including wins in each of the first 5 weeks, before a bit of a 2-game skid before closing out strong in week 8.
Strong is a bit of an overstatement there.
Hey, you won.
I don't
that's
think
what
so.
matters.
Fair.
And even like the 2 games you lost, they were like 1 or 2 decisions, or a team not looking at your team before starting the game.
Yeah, okay,
Were
bro.
the difference? That were the difference between
That was
that.
against Famous, right?
No,
I was against them.
Oh, right. Okay.
And very small things that could be corrected in playoffs, and then Daniel sits nice and comfy in grands. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
I am a Daniel.
I
believer.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, Jamez and M, 2 very scary players, were the only 2 to have beaten Daniel this season. Your team was really, really strong out of the gate, including, I remember, I mean, your week 2 win over me was so dominating, it was just depressing from my end. With those sticky webs.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, you put your team really well. So, Daniel, how about you talk a little bit about your team and what went into your drafting process here?
Well, I knew I wanted, at least for the first round, one of like a 19 or an 18 point mon. I wanted something powerful that would be able to like fit into multiple different teams. So it could like fit into like different team styles, or just like depending on how the rest of my draft went, like stuff that it could pair with. So I feel like Meowscarada was definitely a good first round pick, especially after the buffs that it got in the DLC, with mainly Triple Axle being the big one. Very powerful with that Protean boost.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Meowscarada showed up. It finished 14th on the MVP ladder, brought to 7 of 8 games, going 8-2, having a very strong season. Although it was not your highest ranking member of your team on the MVP ladder, you did have a member of the top 10 in Annihilate.
Yeah, Annihilate's a very... Yeah.
Yeah.
Annihilate was, I guess, the Rock Lee of my draft team. Bro started off on those training weights. As soon as he took the weights off, he fucking carried.
Yeah, I definitely remember during the draft when I was thinking of what I wanted it to do at the very end of round 1, having those back-to-back picks. Annihilate was a strong consideration for one of the contenders to take that spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. Annihilate is a very powerful mon, which has a very good potential to snowball with Rage Fist and considerable bulk as well. Yeah, it was able to just like do a lot in like in the latter half of my season. Once I was able to like bring it to a game, it just kind of it really pulled through. I remember especially I think my match with Aaron, Annihilate just kind of swept with a very like good read on my part, and it was just able to like snowball through that game. When
Parting
originally
shot.
I was very scared going into it with how Armando sent me through the ringer.
I prepped you for the worst, and then you were ready for Aaron.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other mons? Enamoris did a lot.
Yeah, the second rounder. Yeah, and Emrys came in 40th, went 4-3, only brought to 4 of the games, interestingly.
Yeah, I
It was
just felt.
actually exactly tied in games played, kills, and deaths with your Flygon.
Yeah, honestly, I think I brought Enamoris into the games where I felt like it wouldn't be like one tapped by like a powerful ice or
That
electric
makes
type.
sense, yeah.
Like I brought it to games where I thought it would work the best in, you know. And in those games, did pretty well. So
Yeah, looking through it looks like, well, it didn't do anything against Levin because that was just a week one sweep there.
Yeah, Masquerain was the
yeah,
main
you didn't bring it against
the main
me.
contender in that.
Yeah, and Amorous was one of your main contributors in your win against Hunter, going 2-1. I see.
Yeah.
Along with Galarian Articuno.
Mm-hmm.
Kuno there.
Yeah. Overall,
yeah, it got one of your kills against Jamez too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd also like to highlight some of the more unorthodox pick you made, such as the round 5 Crocolore pick.
I feel like Crocolore was pretty good overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a 4-pointer, I think Crocolore held its own.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a Terra captain during the tail end of my season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only brought to 2 games. Did not get any kills. One death, I see.
Yeah, it kind of it was there to like whittle Pokemon down, not exactly to get kills. Except Iron Valiant, but yeah. That we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good pick overall. I'm just very surprised that you took it as early as you did in the draft. What was the reason for not waiting for later rounds and taking it round 5?
I think the reasoning was that I felt like I was a bit overspending on my points at that point in the draft. So I wanted to like maybe lighten my consumption so that I could maybe get higher
Get
point
some late round gems.
that went by the wayside.
Yeah,
like
Crocolore was drafted right after Scarlet George, which I think is pretty
the
cool.
late yeah, I'm seeing you got the late round 10-point Klefki, I see.
Yeah, Klefki did a lot, man.
Klefki was like the support for your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Klefki was kind of perfect for me. It did so much. Honestly, I could think of like times where like almost every Pokemon like did something against
and you brought everything at least once. I mean, really, like I'm looking at the bottom. I mean, I guess like the only one I'm seeing like really at the bottom is like Blastoise, who's brought to 3 games, but only 1 death in 3 games, even then.
Yeah, I also felt like I was able to like rotate my Terra captains, which also felt like really good. Like
yeah,
I was able to.
No one else knew that was possible heading into the season.
Yeah, I was.
You were the only one who knew that was even in the rules.
That's why you read the fine print. That's why you read the fine print.
Very true, very true.
But yeah, I was rotating my Terra captains, and I feel like I kind of drafted my team around that. Like, I brought a lot of Pokemon that were able to be Terra'd, and I brought different Terra captains depending on the opponents that I was up against. Like, Galarian Articuno was a great early game Terra for me. I think Quillfish was also pretty good as like a kind of more bulky Terra option. Like most of my Pokemon that I could have Terra'd, I had as a Terra captain at some point. So overall, I feel like my team is pretty solid coming out of this draft league season. Like I feel like I did pretty well drafting in hindsight. So yeah, I mean, I'm also interested to hear your guys' thoughts because I might be talking with a bit of bias here.
Yeah, I know. I gave a lot of my thoughts. How about you, Armando? Any mons that you think we kind of missed talking about a bit, or anything you want to elaborate on?
I mean, I feel like all these Pokemon were just built to be versatile, especially not just like Terra type, but just in general. So like you can kind of pick and choose which ones did better in certain matchups. And I think overall, as a draft, very well like drafted, because you got different options to deal with different things. There's a lot of like sleeper picks, like a Blastoise with Shell Smash does numbers. It didn't get to do it as much, because there was just so many like competition with Pokemon.
Because my team didn't save when I closed the browser tab.
It happens. But it could have swept. It could have swept.
It could have. I literally played a rematch with M and I won.
Hey, for all you know, maybe that's how you beat Marcus. You counter the sweep with the sweep.
Wait, low key? Don't leak the secrets. Don't leak the secrets.
True.
But
we could cut that out. It's okay.
Masquerain is also a terrifying lead. I mean, sticky webs.
Oh wait, how can we
intimidate.
forget about what Masquerain did in game 1?
Yeah.
One.
Bro, I think where is it? Aw, man. Yeah, bro has more kills than my Enamorous and Flygon because of game 1. Like, Masquerain got 5 kills, making it number 35 in the kills race.
Oh my gosh. Thanks to one death that ended up above my Metagross even.
The new meta is Masquerain.
Masquerain is built different.
Yeah, Masquerain is just terrifying lead.
Yeah, brought to 4 games, gets 5 kills.
Yeah, that was definitely a good balance here overall. Each Pokemon definitely got its chance to shine.
Yeah, and your match against Marcus, who we kind of talked about it. I mean, just best advice for you: try not to get set up swept. I guess.
Yeah.
Shrugs.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't let it be you. You can prep for it. You definitely have the know-how to prep for all those setup sweepers. You gotta put it together. I don't know.
Don't get Vivian's trademark.
Become the Vivian.
Masquerain versus Vivian.
Don't do that. That's a coin flip. You do not want to risk.
Again, edit in the fiery background fighting game screen.
The 2 bug flying types.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, now we move on to the first of our top 3 finishing teams in the regular season. We have Joe's Drunken Dracovish, the unstoppable juggernauts from Season 1, making a return in a new form here, and like the Judgment Day, they also went with a 6-2 record, but with a plus 18 differential, taking the 3 seed by 1 point.
Yeah, my match with Skelly very much changed my playoff trajectory heavily.
Yeah, Joe was surprisingly at a 500 win percentage after the first 2 weeks, going 1-1 before sailing off with 2 more wins in a row. He had 1 more loss, but then another 3 in a row after that. That is 5 out of the last 6 that Joe won, leading to a very deserving top 3 finish in this regular season.
Yeah, Joe's team is only Joe can build something like that and then perform even better with it, because it's something else.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, just the way Joe plays, no matter what, it's gonna be something unpredictable that you did not expect at all.
Mhm.
That you're gonna have to deal with all of a sudden.
Like
I mean-
Choice Scarf Shaman Land. Terrifies.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just- exactly. I mean, I don't. I don't know what else to say there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not like we don't have a read on Joe because Joe just switches it up every week. The only thing you know for
Yeah.
sure is Gouging Fire is going to shit on you. And
Yeah, Joe did lose 3 months in week 1 against Marcus, but did come away with the win. With the win there before going on to lose a close 6-4 game against you, Armando.
yeah,
When your Heat Train and Ursaring showed up to play ball.
the only
But
reason
then-
I
Yeah.
won that was because Salamence with Earthquake didn't touch
Yep.
a Burning Bulwark, so I couldn't get burned. And also I had
Mm.
set up
Yeah.
+2 at that point.
And then Joe responded to that loss by just completely curb stomping both Swamp Boss and myself. Myself, thanks to that gouging fire.
Yeah.
Then he did end up taking that very narrow loss to Core Sensei, which we talked about earlier, with that rain team. But then after that, Joe just never looked back. Taking down Hunter, dismantling Ethan, and managing to beat Levin despite them making each other's teams. He had a very exciting season, and where else do you start but Joe's first round pick, the second to last pick of the first round, mind you, but third place on the MVP race. It's Gouging Fire, brought to 7 of the 8 matchups, but got 12 wins with only 2 deaths in those 7 games.
Oof. Yeah, Gouging Fire is... He truly is a Gouging Fire.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, just such a good Pokemon. Great stats. I mean, with like a Dragon Dance and then it outrages, it could just demolish you. It has Breaking Swipe. Burning Bulwark is an insanely good signature move.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just wow, this mod. And it was not Joe's only top 10 finisher. Coming in at number 10, we have a more unexpected pick with Chinchino, brought to only 4 games, but going 9-0.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
god,
sure
did he die?
Chinchino. I'm
got a
pretty
streak,
sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I got a 6. Yeah, I think I got 6 kills on Ethan.
Oof.
Yeah, hang on, I'm checking the logs right now. Yes, it did. Yeah, Chinchino.
Truly, Chinchino.
Belovedly Chinchino.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, also, shout out to one of the scariest Terra captains to go against of all time with Jolteon with Electric, Ice, and Ground Terra.
Yeah, those are very good Terra types for what Jolteon is and what it can do, especially with that speed
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when I was team prepping for visiting against Joe, I was so worried about preparing for the Ice Terra Jolteon. I prepared so much for it. He brought Jolteon out, just used it as support fast sunny day setter. I mean, that's a Joe moment there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daniel, who do you want to highlight from this team?
I think Primarina. Primarina's a kind of sleeper
Yeah,
pick from this team.
very underrated. I mean, before the hidden abilities came out, and we know what happened with Incineroar then, but before those came out, I remember looking at the Gen 7 stars and thinking Primarina was the best of them competitively.
Yeah.
I mean, Water Fairy is
Primarina-
typing, very good.
Yeah. Water Fairy, very good typing, very bulky, has some pretty good options. Like, I remember it got a new move. Psychic Voice, right? Or Psychic,
Psychic
Noise.
Psychic
Yeah.
Noise,
Yeah.
yeah, which has a heal block effect for a couple
Yeah.
turns.
Yeah, very good against the bulky stall type Pokemon.
Yeah. Indubitably. Yeah, how about you, Armando? Anyone else you want to highlight?
If I were to highlight, I'm gonna say 2 Pokemon. One, Shaman, because that thing threw me off. I mean, 100 base stats across the board. Very good damage in Seed Flare. He ran Choice Scarf with it against me. It threw me way off.
Yeah, it
That
went
thing
4
does
and 3 in
insane
4 games
damage.
too.
Mythical, very solid. And then also Alolan Golem. That thing, kind of a sleeper
Yeah,
pick.
that was another
Terra
surprise I
Fighting,
had to
Body
deal with.
Press.
Yeah.
The Terra Electric, was it Galvanized Explosion? I think that's the ability. Like,
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Galvanize, for those of you who don't know, it's like Normalize or Pixelate, but for electric type.
Yeah.
that thing will blow up in your face and smile while doing it, and pick up a KO that it probably needs. And I don't know, both
Yeah,
those Pokemon just do stuff that you
I
do
had to
not
deal with the
expect.
body press mode, which was really rough for me because I was prepping for another one I want to highlight in Deoxys Defense.
Mm.
Who, if that thing's like packing Nightshade, oh boy, that is scary.
Yeah, it's probably one of the
Not to
harder
mention,
things to take out on Joe's team.
yeah. Oh yeah, and we haven't even talked about Corviknight yet.
Yeah.
Yes. Body press, roost. What can I not do? It will block you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And what can like hit it?
Nothing. You can throw a nuke at Corviknight and it will smile and roost again.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah,
way you
honestly-
beat Roost is outstalling his PP, and that's it.
Yeah, either that or you hit it with like a very strong special fire or electric move. Like that's it. You better hope you have a fire special attacker, or else you die.
Yeah. So yeah, and as we were talking about earlier, this team's first round matchup is against Hunter and the Wayward Weaviles, in a bit of a dueling photosynthesis match of dueling photosyntheses. Is that the plural for it?
Photosynthesize. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, in the regular season, Joe did dominate this matchup, so he's got to be feeling pretty good heading into this one. But I know Joe, and he's not the type to take anything for granted.
Yeah.
We got to see how Joe switches it up, and maybe hopefully he doesn't switch it up too much, because it could give Hunter the advantage he needs. But matchup wise, I think definitely Joe has a positive matchup here, both with not being able to run Sun, because Gouging Fire kind of just wins if you do, and just having a very bulky team and a lot of ways you
Yeah,
can
honestly,
get mixed up.
I think Joe does really well here by slowing down the pace a lot.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like we saw in week 6, bringing in not just Gouging Fire, but like Corviknight, Deoxys Defense, Primarina.
Yeah,
I mean,
Joe kind of just wants to play slow.
I could see like, I mean, there's Crocodile there for faster pace, but that could very easily even become a Alolan Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said before, Joe has options to play fast and play slow. Like any playstyle that you're trying to box him into, he will still probably succeed in. So you kind of just have to prep your best and kind of hope you can get a couple good mix-ups in.
Yippers.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that brings us to our second place finish in the regular season. Dropping only one game in week 7, we have Armando's very own Phoenix Proteans, 7-1 with a plus 22 rating. You won for each of the first 6 weeks, dropping one week 7 match, and then just getting right back to business in week 8 with another win.
Yippee!
Yeah.
A very successful season for I'd say you're probably the biggest Pokemon person on this call right now.
Yeah.
Now I concede my crown to you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, your team had a very successful season. Your one loss being kind of a meme match in Week 7 against Levin.
Yeah, I couldn't pull it through with what 11 cooked for me, unfortunately. My team was
I
strong enough.
I tried my best, Armando. I tried to
know.
make it playable.
It was kind of my own
Yeah.
fault. I gave Levin too much, and then I forgot about what I gave him.
Tornado Therian was too much.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
You could not beat the Mario Party 3 genie.
Why did I give it energy ball? Or whatever I gave it, I forgot. But yeah, I was kind of happy
it
with
was a
everything
trip
that I
season,
got.
very successful. I mean, especially, your Week 2 winning against Joe was just really fun to see.
Yeah.
For one, definitely. Yeah, and hey, Volbeat did end up not caring
Volbeat
about the type advantage, and
kinda
it,
did
and it beat
numbers.
Starly.
It did beat
Yeah,
Star.
Volbeat the goat. Volbeat the goat.
Volbeat
Yeah.
walled Iron Bundle. Not many Pokemon can say they do that. I don't know.
We believe in Lamplight.
Little Lamplight did his
well,
job.
Well, no, Volbeat walled Iron Bundle in both singles and doubles. In both seasons in the Draft League.
Oh my god, it did.
So yeah, so
Volbeat does not like
So
Iron
how
Bundle.
So how about we start talking about your team with your last round pick with this Volbeat, I guess.
Yeah, Volbeat, for 2 points, this thing is actually very bulky. Very surprisingly.
Yeah. And
Uh,
it did manage to pick up 2 kills in the 4 games it was in, while only dying once per game with only 4 deaths as well.
yeah, Volbeat did his job. It was there to be annoying or to stop a Pokemon from getting a little too far, or walling Iron Bundle like it seems to do.
Yeah.
And for the
So-
2 points, not bad.
Yeah.
So what qualities attracted you to Volbeat in the first place to start making it your mascot?
Let's see. For this season, last season, it was quite literally. I saw some people like get very far in a regional with Illumise, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna use Volbeat instead because I like Volbeat. He's cool. He's got some swagger to him. And then I drafted him, and I'm like, wait, he's kind of peak. And then I kept getting him in the random battles. I'm like, wait, this Pokemon is kind of
Yeah, the random battles, yeah, when we were against each other.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of just started liking Volbeat more and more, and then he's now my son.
Nice. Yeah,
I adopted him.
respect. Anyway, your top performing Pokemon was one that came 7th place in our MVP voting, brought to 6 of the games, and getting 10 kills with only 3 deaths. It was a later round pick for you, one of your Terra captains, Ursaring.
Yeah, Ursaring is interesting because I drafted Ursaring because Guts Facade, and also as a Terra Captain, so I'm like, this thing's gonna be a pretty solid Terra Captain. But going in, I'm like, oh, Malamar's
Yeah.
gonna be my Terra Captain. He's gonna become every game, and then he kind of underperformed.
Yeah, but like Stellar, right?
Yeah, and then Ursaring kind of just every time I brought it, it got at least 1 kill, and I'm like, oh, this thing's kind of a monster. I've been sleeping on my own boy. He's there. He was there the whole time. Yeah, Ursaring was very deservedly my
also-
kill leader.
Yeah, also props to when we realized how Ursaring could get the Guts boost from sleep, so you could run a rest talk set with boosted attacks.
Yeah. It's like
That
the
was
only
very
way to
funny
have
too.
consistent healing with Ursaring. I didn't get to bring it as much
Yeah.
as I'd like to, 'cause sleep talk is kind of inconsistent and scary to use.
Yeah. Also, I find it very interesting. Your first round pick was a successful team. You didn't get that much mileage out of your first round pick, with Rillaboom only coming to 2 games and going 1-1.
Yeah, Rillaboom didn't have as much opportunities as I would have liked it to. It was kind of going to do Grassy Seed stuff, and then I just stopped doing that because I had other
Yeah,
things
you were
that
planning
worked
on
out
running
better.
like an unburdened based team, right?
With Drifloom and Hitmonlee.
Yeah,
was so
Grassy
sad.
Seed.
Hitmonlee was on the bench the whole time because I had so many cool ideas with Hitmonlee, and then someone else would overperform, and then Hitmonlee wouldn't get to do anything, and then it
Yeah.
was so sad. It's fine. Him only comes back in
Yep.
playoffs, maybe.
Yeah, and hey, you also had two other very strong performers. Performers at 25 and 26. You have your Greninja and Cleavor, both of whom were brought to 4 games and went 6-1.
Yeah, Greninja, I wasn't as surprised because I knew Greninja was just gonna do good, get some kills.
Yeah, Greninja's very good.
Cleavor, I wasn't as expecting because I wanted to get Scizor. But the way my team was kind of gearing up, I had gotten Heatran the pick before, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have 2 Steel types. I'll get the other one. And then Cleavor kind of popped off. Because one, it's got a move that does damage and sub stealth rocks. And with Choice Scarf, this thing is insane. Cleavor, I'm glad I picked Cleavor over what I could have picked for like hazards and stuff.
Yeah, Cleavor did a lot for your team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, in my match against you, Cleavor's what won you the game. I felt I prepared really well for it. I was feeling kind of good heading into it, but Cleavor just opened the game right up for you. As soon as you were able to get rid of Darkrai, it just, yeah.
If there was... First off, did we go over Greninja yet? Or...
Yeah, we talked about
Okay. Heatran?
Yes.
Oof.
It's another one.
I'm surprised I got Heatran. I was at 4th pick, and I'm like, why is Heatran still there? Nobody's grabbed him. This wasn't in my plan. I'll take him.
Yeah, also, you were able to recreate the dynamic duo from Season 1's Decidueye Dominion with Rillaboom and Heatran as well.
They were both there. I'm trying to think if they came together in a team one time, but let's see. Was there a time they were both on the same team?
Well, Rillaboom was only in there twice.
Yeah, the first time Rillaboom came, Heatran did not come. Let's see. Uh-oh. Were they never together? Oh no!
Reunited but separated. It's
I don't think
version of Plessy versus.
I don't think they were on the same team at one point at all.
Reunited
no.
but separated is the new separate. Is it the new separate but equal?
Oh, this is so sad. They've not been on the same team together.
But yeah. Anyway, Heatran was up to 4 games, went 5-1.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, and Armando, you also had Amon that made one of our thumbnails as well with Salamence.
Ooh. Yeah, I kind of got him a little late because I realized I still had some points to spend and I wanted a cool dragon type. Who was I gonna get? I was gonna get somebody else, but somebody sniped me. I forget what it was. Let me see if I could jog my memory.
What kind of a Pokemon was it?
I knew I needed a bulky dragon type. That was the archetype I needed.
Didn't you make like some sort of plan?
I did.
Document?
Let me pull it up. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already starting doing that for the next double season. Admittedly.
Really? Before you even decided
I've-
on points?
I've been starting my planning. Yeah, I've been just looking to like what things would I want to have together and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I mean, I
wanted
guess planning
Duraludon.
a restricted would also like matter.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if I get X restricted, what other mon would I want with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would need to do some research on like VGC meta, see how it's changed.
Yeah, never mind. I didn't get sniped. I wanted Duraludon, but because I got Heatran, I didn't get Duraludon. Or I chose not to get Duraludon. Because I didn't want to know
That
the
makes
Steel
sense,
Okay.
yeah.
And then Salamence was just really good. I mean, Intimidate, it has Moxie, a Setup Sweeper. It's quad weak to Ice, I guess. But like, I got Heatran. It's
Yeah.
very bulky. At that point in the draft, it was exactly what I needed. And the times I brought it, it did its job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, just overall a really, really strong team. And as we talked about earlier, you have your first round matchup, a rematch against M, which was
Yeah.
already a very close match in the regular season. So, do you have any secrets you'd like to maybe tip out there in advance? Feel the waters a bit. Give us something to work with here.
Volbeat's coming back. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely mixing it up because I remember some Pokemon didn't work out as well as they wanted to. Him only, but I'll squeeze in some other Pokemon there, mix it up, do some funny little strategies. But Volbeat's
And
definitely
then-
coming back.
Oh yeah, for sure, it's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what happens in that one. That one's a must-watch.
Yeah.
Last
then
but
that
not least,
Our top performer, the one who's
Mr.
become the
Mr.
villain of this
Undefeated.
league,
Mr.
Yes.
Undefeated.
Jamez with the New York Glimmets, with a perfect 8-0 record, plus 33 differential. He never dropped a game.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
OU team.
Jamez's team, it's safe to say that Jamez's team has two halves. The hydrogen bombs and the coughing babies.
Yeah. With a season like this, we don't even need to go in the schedule. Let's go right to looking at the team itself. This is
Yeah.
a 6-month. This is a 6-month team. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So starting off, we have the man that wasn't only Tom's first round pick, but this was our regular season MVP. Iron Valiant brought to all 8 games with 16 kills and 0 deaths.
Yeah, Valiant is a force to be reckoned with. Nobody has managed to kill this thing.
Not yet. Hopefully.
Not yet. Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, Valiant had a bit of a slow start. In week 1, it only got 1 kill, and then same thing in week 2. So it was off to a pretty slow start, surprisingly. But then,
Reggie Gigas?
yep.
I'm drafting them next
But then
season.
it really got rolling in week 3 when it got 3 kills onto Levin's team, and then it just took off. It got 4 kills against Marcus in week 4. It didn't even have to come out in week 5 actually because of a Excalibur sweep against M. Yeah, Valiant was back with another 3-kill performance against Daniel in week 6.
Yeah. I almost had it. I almost had that thing. But then a roll. I lost to a roll!
Week 7, it dropped a 4 bomb on Skeletino. And then it didn't have to do anything in week 8.
Yeah, Iron Valiant just it did OU things and just
Yeah.
it switched up a little bit, but it didn't really need to. It was already like one-shotting
What's
most
crazy
things.
is it was the MVP with 16 kills, and it only got 2 kills combined over half of the season.
Mhm.
And it still did that. Wow. And not to be outdone, Tom also had the number 4 contender with Excalibur, who went 12-2 in 8 games.
Uh-huh.
And number 13, Hisuian Samurott, who was at the top for a while before dropping off, going to 9-6. Yeah, just those ceaseless edges, man.
Hisuian Samurai did ceaselessly edge me. It's funny that Chiyu's there, because Chiyu is scary, but it didn't do much, because Iron Valiant,
No, yeah.
Samurai, Excalibur, they kind of just...
Chiyu was actually down in the negatives. It was brought to all the games, but it got 0 kills, 1 death,
Yeah.
actually.
When Chiyu gets 0 kills, something is wrong.
And you know
Something
that
is
team is
amiss.
stacked.
And you're still undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excadrill actually was in the negatives, going 4 and 5.
I mean, it did its setup.
But it was also a key performer in week 8
Mhm.
at the end.
Yeah. I'd say the
Yeah.
most glaring weakness with Tom's team, it's the easiest to prep for. Because you
Yeah.
know what 6 mons he's bringing.
There
You
are
just need
6
to
ones
figure
that
out-
Famous did not bring. Cutiefly, Hydrapple, Marini, Knacklestack, Glimmets, and Fungus did not see the light of day. They are still in the basement. Get them help.
Yeah, one of those is not like the others, by the way.
Yeah, I'm surprised Hydrapple, honestly. I could see I'm kind of surprised Hydrapple didn't sneak into some games, honestly.
I'm not that
HEDL's
surprised.
underrated. HEDL's underrated.
Look
I
at what it
feel.
has to compete with. I'm not that
That's fair.
surprised.
That's fair. Yeah. But honestly, I think the thing to watch out for with this team in the playoff, I'm not sure this team is actually my playoff pick because many of these players have played against this team before, and yes, they have lost to it before, but they have the ability to adjust. Tom really does not have that luxury, so I think that'll be really interesting to see what happens because several of Tom's opponents coming up have lost to this, know why they lost, and have the ability to adjust.
Please, people, adjust. We can't keep letting them get away with this.
Yeah, I mean,
the New York Glimmets are doing much better than the New York Mets are right now, that's for sure.
Yes. But yeah, there's not much else to say. J-Maz went undefeated with his OU team, and we'll see if he can keep it going coming into playoffs with his first match against Coral Sensei.
Yes, that is how our playoffs are looking. We will be coming at you next time with our round 1 of the playoffs getting underway. I, for one, am very excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Got a lot of prepping to do.
Yeah. Godspeed.
Good luck to all those competing.
Do we want to take bets?
I'm gonna
Who do you
say...
think? How about this? Who do we each think is going to win it all?
Oof.
I'm saying you, Armando.
I'm gonna be a little biased.
Well, wait, no, actually, no. I think it's between you and Joe. I think it's between you and Joe. I feel. Who are you saying, Armando?
I think if I can squeeze out against M, no, M into Joe is just kind of rough. I think I could do it, but it's gonna be rough. But I think I can beat J-Maz.
That's assuming Hunter doesn't upset Joe.
That is very true. But I also believe I could beat Hunter. And I think I could definitely beat J-Maz before I eat my words. Live.
How about you, Daniel? Who do you see winning? Will you
Look.
be the only one of us to have the number 1 seed being the winner?
Look, as much as I want to say myself, I'm not. Like, I don't want to come in with that egotistical bias here. Honestly, I think it's between Joe and Marcus.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Did Marcus and J-Maz play? Or Tom? Did they?
Yeah, but it was early on.
Okay, that's
before
true.
Marcus really got going.
Yeah.
This is the new Marcus we're talking about.
Yeah, it was week 4. It was a 6-4 in Tom's favor. Tom
I mean,
only
taking
lost
off 4
Samurai
Pokemon,
and
that's
Excadrill.
still pretty good.
Oh, wait, no, I meant 6-2. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Samurai and Excadrill were the ones to fall there.
Got it.
Yeah, so, although very interesting, none of us picked the undefeated number 1 seed.
Surely,
Look,
we don't
will
let
I
him
be
get away with
surprised if he wins? No. Do I want him to win? No.
I'm sorry, Tom, but we can't let you win with the OU team in draft.
No,
we can't let
honestly,
this happen.
I trust the people. I trust the people's ability to adapt. And I think the 2 smartest players that we have in this whole league are Armando and Joe, I feel.
Yeah.
They have the best Pokemon battle IQ out of anyone, I feel.
Yippee! Yeah, I, don't
So,
know.
yeah,
I think if I can
this
make
was-
it to J-Maz, I got it. But it's rough.
Nice. I like the confidence. And I like hearing the doggy.
Yeah, he's being a little loud.
Was that picked up on the recording?
I don't know. If you can hear it, probably.
I hope so. That'll be fun.
You can hear Doggy. He's a little angry.
Doggy.
Anyway, this has been our playoff preview from Hofstra Esports Draft League. This has been Cygnus, along
And
with,
Daniel.
And Armando.
and we are signing off. See you in the playoffs.
Goodbye.
Have a good one.